Hey everybody, Josh May, NASCAR Minute. We got Todd Berrier, crew chief for Kurt Busch. Todd, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
I'm doing good. So how did you get your start in racing?
My start in this came as just pretty much as a kid. My dad had raced like dirt late models and things like that around our house and whatever in North Carolina. But then he quit when I was pretty young, maybe 8 or 9 years old or something. But I kind of think that's what kind of instilled it in me as wanting to do that. And then throughout high school and things like that, I just helped people around on like local tracks for late models and modifieds and things of that nature. And then from one thing leads to another, you get to knowing people and working your way in a position to be actually racing for a living.
So what was the first team that you worked with?
First team that I worked with?
Yeah.
I would say, for getting paid like full time for a job would be, there was John Farrow on the racing team. There's a guy in Pennsylvania that owned a truck stop up in Pennsylvania. He owned a racing team which was located in Kernersville, North Carolina, and it was a nationwide team that at the time Ed Berrier was driving. So that was my first paid job in racing, and that was I think maybe in 1990, 89 or 90.
Alright, so what was your role with that team?
I just, at that point back then, there was the teams were made of minimal people. There's probably 6 or 7 of us. I was just a mechanic that worked on the road and worked on the race car, as well as a pit crew member that changed tires and what have you. So I pretty much did a little bit of everything, working on the car, working on the truck when it was broke down, working on pit stops, whatever. So pretty much just an entry-level position in that team, and from there, you just learn, the dynamics of how a racing team works, and again, they were way different back then.
Alright. So, how long did you stay with that team?
I have no idea. I left there, I could probably get close. Maybe I was there for a couple years or something, and then virtually my next job in racing was, I went to Billy Hagan's Cup team. It was in High Point, North Carolina, and it was just at the exit of Terry Labonte and the entrance of John Andretti driving it is when I went there, and so I was there for maybe just a year, not a long time there. And I got a call from there to come to work at RCR, Richard Childress Racing, in the Fab Shop, which was like in 1993. I left Hagan's and went to work at RCR, and from there I stayed until 2011.
So is that when you went to Furniture Row?
Yes, I left RCR, and I left RCR. I went to JTG, was a Tad Kachekter on the team there. He had a team that was running out of Michael Walkup's shop in MWR with Bobby Labonte driving, and he wanted to start his own team up and actually do it in-house and do it in his own building. And so when I left RCR, I went to do the startup thing at JTG, and from there, I was there for maybe half a season, 6-8 months or something like that, and then got the opportunity to come out to Colorado and work on this team, and it was back with a RCR affiliated team, which is pretty much where I have been my whole career. So it was a pretty decent fit for me, just knowing the inner workings of the company, and then this place was me in engineering and technical support from RCR. So from that team, I went here at Furniture Row.
All right. So is it an advantage or a disadvantage being based in Colorado?
I'm sure there's arguments for both. I think it has both. I think there's advantages to it, and the advantages are, when you get people in a position, they're obviously there for the long haul because there's not racing teams across the street or racing teams right down the road or whatever. There's not the competition when it comes to that. But on the flip side, the disadvantage would be trying to get the people that you want from North Carolina or from wherever to move and move their families and move them to Colorado. The dynamics of Colorado don't change a lot. I mean, again, when I was at RCR and was part of the racing teams there, when we brought Bert on as a customer, we thought, why in the world would they get out of Colorado? Because it just seems crazy that all the racing teams are in North Carolina. But as it turns out, once and again, maybe 7 years ago when Berkshire Road started, it might have been crazy, but over the course of the last 7 years or so, they've done a really good job putting things in place to shuffle all the parts and pieces and to get the cars back and forth, and all the dynamics of that have been worked out way before me. So that part, the part that you anticipate being a huge problem, it really isn't, because it was already taken care of, like I said, way before I came on board.
All right, thanks, Todd, for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
We're breaking up for some reason. Try one more time.
Thank you for joining us on NASCAR Minute.
All right, you got it. Thank you.
That's Todd Berrier.